Are we live? Hello?
Are we live?
Good, good. Okay. Um, we just hit 100 subscribers, like, right fucking now. That's awesome. That is so fucking awesome. Thanks for 100. But this isn't... The QnA isn't the 100 subscriber special. I want to do, like, something legit for the 100 subs. Like, I don't know, I want to go through all my videos and create some kind of, like, montage or something. I don't know, something like that. Like the good old days. Because that's what most... Back then, most YouTubers would, like, do, like, a little montage of all their... Of all their highlights and all that stuff, and it was, like, really awesome. So I want to do something like that to relieve the glory days of my channel. My shitty channel. But, let's continue on with this thing, okay? Let's continue on. Let's continue. Let's continuar. Just give me a break. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment here. All right. Let's continue. Alright, so last time before the stream was interrupted, we were talking about music. That we were almost done, like 90% done, but then my mom came downstairs because she felt like it and stuff, and I had to stop streaming because then you would have to listen to the fan and the computer and her talking and gossiping with her little friends, and I don't care about that, okay? And God knows that these things are beyond my control. I don't have a sort of like workshop or some shit like that where I can lock myself and record this stuff in private. I can't because my room has the weakest internet. My brother's room has my brother in it. So yeah, I have to wait till 12 a.m. to do these things. So okay, we're about 90% done. So let's talk about the last section of the music question before we move on with literally the good stuff. I mean, this is also good. So let's talk about the final band, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. For those of you who are stupid and retarded and don't know me enough to know what Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is, if you don't know me at all, then you are a fake friend and do not actually notice that my favorite band is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. For all of you who don't know what that is, you fake fuckers, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is the band responsible for the legendary opening of Parasite the Maxim. Yes, that one. And the first ending of Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 anime series. I almost said a Hunter x Hunter, legit. But you know, but then I remember it's Hunter x Hunter, and I don't know, it's fuck it, whatever. Okay, so my love for this band started with Let Me Hear, the opening of Parasite the Maxim. It all started in 8th grade, and I kind of like got addicted to the song, and I would listen to it every chance I got. For weeks, that song. I was chilling, that song on repeat over and over and over again. I just wouldn't get tired of listening to it because it was just orgasm to my ears. Having that on a really high volume with my headphones on, that is orgasmic. So one day I'm kind of like chilling and all that stuff, and I finally decided to watch the video, of like the music video of the song. I'm like, wow, these guys look pretty fucking badass. Like, in fact, these guys look like Final Fantasy characters. Commenting, of course, on the appearance of the band members of the band Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the band that we're talking about. Okay, okay, let's keep on. So I'm like, wow, these guys look pretty fucking cool, and this video is great and all that stuff, and I kind of like this. So I'm deeply in love with Fear Loathing Las Vegas at this point, but just not enough, because that's the only song I know. That and the and what's that? I, I forgot what the first ending of oh, it's Just Awake. That's the first ending of Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 anime. So I'm listening to those two songs. I'm balancing between them. I find out that there's an English version of Just Awake, and I love it. And I'm almost there, right? I just need to listen to one more song, and I'll be full on addicted to the band. So one day I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's listen to another song, because this, I mean, Let Me Hear is an amazing song, but I'm gonna get tired of it eventually. So I might as well listen to other stuff. So I'm watching the video of the one. So yeah, I decided that while I'm watching the music video of Let Me Hear, and I look at the suggestion feed and I see Rave Up Tonight by the same band, and I'm like, oh, it's another song that they do. So I click on that, and then their videos always start with the band logo, like it's a like black screen, and then their band logo on white text. Feel Nothing Las Vegas, and then it fades to black, and then the video starts. And I'm like, that intro, the little intro there, I'm like, oh shit, I was not ready for this. It was at that moment, after hearing that intro, that I immediately just fell in love with the band. Nothing else needed to be said, because by the time I finished listening to that song, I fucking loved it, and I wanted more. And that's what I did. I looked at all the videos that the official channel of the band had, which isn't, by the way, their channel isn't called Fear Loathing in Las Vegas. It's, I believe it was Senny Games something, and it's the channel of one of the former guitarists, who was also a long member, and I believe he was the songwriter as well. He quit the band recently. I believe his name is Shun. I believe that's how it's pronounced, because it's written SXUN, and I don't know how you can spell that, so I just kind of go with Shun. But anyways, that channel has like a lot of their music videos, and I kept looking around, and I was like, oh guys, I started listening to Going Amino, and I'm like, oh guys, I just started listening to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Guys, recommend it. You guys have any more songs to recommend? And there was Lee Line and Virtue and Vice and Thunderclap and all these songs, and it just so happens that all these songs have music videos, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I watch these songs, and it's great. It's just fucking wonderful. All of these songs are great. Okay, they're just great. As the years go by, I fall even more in love with the band. I have the basic songs. So like by the time I was like a little more, fuck. By the time Rave Up Tonight made me completely and utterly fall head over heels for this band, I believe I had every song that had a video on YouTube downloaded to my phone. Those being Let Me Hear, Just Awake, both Japanese and English version, Rave Up Tonight, Thunderclap. There was also Scream as Hard as You Can, Lee Line, I believe Shake Your Body, Love at First Sight. I may be forgetting some. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, Chase the Light. I believe it's Chase. I don't. Is it Chase the Light? I don't know. And finally, Starburst. Let me tell you, Starburst is one of my favorite songs from them. In fact, I think by far it might be my all-time favorite. Let me show you why. Let me see if I can find it here. Well, actually, you should just listen to it to yourself. I like it because it feels like this sort of like final anime opening. Like if you used it as your last opening for your anime, it would feel like a satisfying conclusion to like I don't know, the story arc of a lifetime or something like that. But it's not even the last song, because after that they just kept continuing. Oh yeah, there's also Cast Your Shell. That was like that song had recently come out, and it was the one, and everyone loved it because it was the one that started with the guy who does the screamo lyrics, Minami Keisuke, talking like singing in his normal voice for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, holy shit, I can't believe it, and I was like, oh my god, wait, is that seriously him? But we wouldn't get that up until like a song called LLLD, which featured him rapping. It's something. It's kind of like Linkin Park, like that song, but you know it's not. I should also mention that a lot of these songs were also featured in animes, and I watched some of them. Well, no, actually, not. I didn't. The only one I did watch from the only anime that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas introduced me to was Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. Great anime. I recommend it. It's wonderful. It's just it's great. Okay, so as of today, I am still a fan of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I have a lot of their songs, like a fucking lot. Okay, if I were to be honest with you, if you remove like I don't know all of my video game OST songs and that stuff, you'll see that about I don't know 90% of my music is just Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas because I just love that band so much. There are some songs I don't like, but there are some that I do, and you know it's a more or less of an up and there are some I have mixed feelings about, but there are some that I love and like I hold really dear to my heart. Can I make a side note though? There's that one song, I think it's called Party Voice or something. I don't know. It has a really fucking cool music video. Like it's like it has like this sort of like K-pop style shit, but it's not K-pop because it's a Japanese band, and I just find it funny because these guys can make some really they can make like some really great choreographed dance for a bunch of emo dudes who sing with vocoder and screaming. You guys should just listen to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It'll fucking change your life. It's that music is really life changing. It's good shit. I recommend it. So, okay, we're finally done with the music question, and it only took us an entire day. Okay, so let's go to the next questions. Okay, so alright, let me look over here and on my notes. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back now. Okay. Let's see. ¿Cuáles películas crees que son las más overrated de los últimos años? What movies do you think are the most overrated from the recent years, my doomer friend? Let's see. It's a very interesting question, and a really thought-provoking one too, because I don't know how to answer that, because I don't watch movies that come out in recent years, rarely, unless like my parents want me to watch it. So, but I don't know. At the top of my head, I don't, I don't know. Endgame, it's just that. it's cool. It's a cool movie, but I don't know. It's kind of overrated. What am I feel like one of the weakest parts of the movie is the war. Cause I don't know. I don't really remember a lot of stuff. Only like the highlight moments. Like, let's see, that one time Thanos takes out the Purple Stone and smacks Captain Marvel, jeets her away. That was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, it was really hype and all, but I mean, it's not like the siege in the second movie of Lord of the Rings where that shit is fucking intense and it's and you know other war scenes in movies. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know how to I don't know how to answer that question because I'm a really open-minded person and okay, but I do agree with his little joke that yeah, Avengers and Star Wars are overrated. I think that Star Wars has been overrated recently. I don't know. It's just that the movies have been really lazy these couple of years and they're not that great. But a lot of people like them because oh yeah, it's Star Wars and all that stuff. And I don't know. It's not as good as it used to be. To be honest, I was one of those people who thought that The Last Jedi was good, and then I realized it actually wasn't because of a lot of reasons. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I probably didn't notice because I was so caught up in the fucking hype. But yeah, it's really bad. I for that my great doomer brother, uh, yeah, I kind of agree that Avengers and Star Wars are kind of overrated. This is kind of painful to say it, but I mean, not for Star Wars. Fuck Star Wars. Okay, so here's another question from our boy Nigashu. Top three fighting games. Now, normally this would have been a now obviously this is a list of my three favorite fighting games, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's just if we talk about my favorite fighting games, will be especially like I don't know, condensing all of the fighting games I play into like a top three list of which ones do I like the most. We'll be here for hours. So instead, I'm just gonna name three fighting games that I think you guys should check out if you're like want to get into the genre. Like these are really unique and interesting in their own way. So top three fighting games I would recommend. I know that's not the question, Nigachu, but I just wanted to I don't know use this as an excuse to recommend some stuff. So okay, three fighting games to recommend. I definitely recommend Samurai Showdown. Any game. If I have let's see, the one I have is Samurai Showdown 5 Special, which has more characters and stuff. I've been playing it for a while, and it's a little hard to learn at first, but like it's a really unique game. It plays really differently from KOF, despite being made by the same company. I think. I mean, it is SNK, so. But basically, yeah, it's really. I don't know. I don't know if I should say beginner friendly game. I mean, if it's okay, it is beginner friendly. The gameplay is really simple. It's anyone could learn this game if you really like tried to for like if you really tried, you could learn this game pretty quickly. But I will admit that using the arcade mode to learn the game is hell, because a lot of the characters hit really hard, and sometimes it feels like it's sometimes the game feels like it's unfair, and it's like how the fuck am I supposed to use these mechanics? Look at these characters. Look at this fucking guy with his stupid dog. They're like teleporting above and helm splitting me from above. How the fuck am I supposed to dodge that? But yeah, I definitely recommend Samurai Showdown. Up next, definitely check out Guilty Gear XRD Rev 2. It's great. Really beginner friendly. A large cast of characters. A lot of fucking metal. And it's really fun. It's a really fun game. And the graphics are just beautiful, man. This shit, okay? This fighting game, this Guilty Gear Rev 2. Play it. Take a look at it. Worship it. Because it's the best damn thing you'll ever lay your eyes upon in your life. It's magnifico. Okay, it's great. It's just check it out, man. It's really beginner friendly. It has one of the best tutorials. It has like one of the best tutorials universally agreed upon. It's perfect. for anyone who wants to get into the fighting game scene. And finally, we have Akatsuki Blitzkampf. You guys, I don't know, if you guys more or less follow a little bit of the new fighting games and whatever, you might know Akatsuki Blitzkampf because it's a new franchise joining Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle with the characters Akatsuki and Blitz Tank. Akatsuki Blitzkampf, it's like Melty Blood. They're both a doujin fighter. Basically, they're like, I guess, like indie fighting games, if you to put it simply. But in my opinion, Akatsuki Blitzkampf, it's really beginner friendly. It's easy to play. It looks like it looks like most anime fighters are like really fast paced, but fast paced. But it's not actually that fancy. At least the one that it's mostly played on tournaments, and the one that has the caster, at least the one that has the caster netcode, plays more like a Street Fighter game. It has combos and all, but it plays mostly like a Street Fighter game. The other ones are more combo heavy and faster paced, but that's fine. One of the things Akatsuki Blitzkampf has, like GG, is that it also has a pretty decent cast of unique characters and really unique gimmicks too. Like each character has a unique gimmicks. Like for example, my main is a character called Sai, and basically he's more or less of a, you could say he's like the Bruce Lee of the game, but not really. Sai's moveset mostly focuses on mixing up and pressuring, and he and one of his unique features is that by pressing the down and attack button input, he does this technique where if you get it where he, like, I don't know, he shines his glasses and these little hypnosis things come out, and if they hit you, they can nerf your speed and or defense, or I don't know, if you jump you get attacked by falling fish. It's that kind of game. Each character plays very differently from the other. Each special does something completely different from the other characters, and that's something really unique about Akatsuki Blitzkampf. If you want to know about Blitz Tank and what's his unique gimmick, it's that he is a sonar with the damage output of a grappler, and when he dashes, his dashes do damage as well. That's Blitz Tank's gimmick. Okay, so now that we're done with that, let's see what else we have on the QnA. Okay, so I'm gonna take on two of my Doomer friends' questions. Let's see. The first one is ¿Qué topics crees que son más importantes en el anime industry? Translation. What should we talk about which topics are really important in the anime industry? Now, this is more of a minor nitpick, but I think that there is a wee bit too much isekai animes. I don't know about you, but it seems like everywhere you look, there's a new isekai with a really over exaggerated long name and a stupid gimmick. And I don't know, they all seem interesting, but at the same time, just by looking at it, you more or less know what you're getting. A boring protagonist and some unique gimmick and a lot of fan service. Look, let's face it here. There will never be an isekai as good as Konosuba and what's that other one? Oh shit, I forgot. Overlord. Yeah, that one. We will never have isekais as good as those two. I said it there. But I mean, to be honest, yeah, I don't know. It's like there are too many isekais in my opinion. Like, I mean, we didn't even have these many shonens back then. You know, before the modern anime, before the 2010s attacked. Most of the animes were like pretty. Most of the genres were all over the place. Like you had on one corner you had something like a Black Butler, and then it was just its own thing, and all of a sudden you have fucking Death Note and its edginess. And look over there in the corner. What's that? It's Code Geass with insane mega gimmicks and a lot of story. Wait, what's that over there? Gurren Lagann with its insanely powerful universe. You had like at best there was like one trait that could be shared among most animes, but that's about it. Each one was unique on its own. But now you look in the corner, you look to the left, or right, up, down, everywhere, and there's a fucking isekai with a long ass title name. And I don't know. I think they're starting to get boring. They're pretty formulaic, bland protagonists, a wide gallery of waifus and harems and whatever, unstoppable protagonists. Look, buddy. Nobody gives a fuck about isekais anymore, unless it's Konosuba, Overlord, or ReZero, or that other one with the Nazi lolly. That one, yeah. I know Tanya. Yeah, Tanya. Oh, but you know what's a really cool isekai? Drifters, because it's technically an isekai. Heh, gotcha, fuckers. Okay, so what's next? The other one is, ¿crees que la industria del anime vuelva a tener una época buena de nuevo? My dimmer from. Do you think that the anime industry will have a golden age again? I doubt it. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I mean, most of the good animes these seasons are always like rare gems that are gonna be forgotten about in like a couple of months, even if we end up appreciating these animes and loving them and giving them all the affection they deserve. We're gonna forget about them in about like 3 months and then move on to the next anime or something. Fucking cacos. But yeah, in case you didn't hear that, I don't really think there's gonna be a golden age because I don't know. We get good gems these seasons. We really do get good gems, but we always tend to forget about them after like I don't know 5 months or 3 or less than that. And I don't know. I really don't think we'll ever have a golden age, and especially when most animes are made by fucking JC staff, more like JK staff. Am I right? Got him. But yeah, I don't really think we'll ever get an anime golden age. That's look, look. When was the last time we saw the 80s these years? Let me tell you, when was the last time we saw 80s levels of 80s era levels of quality in these recent years? Everything Ufotable cranks out, including Demon Slayer. But no, everyone wants to hate Demon Slayer because everybody likes it and all that stuff. Look, shut the fuck up and just, I don't know, watch it, appreciate it, hate it, or whatever. Holy fuck. Just love it, okay? It's Ufotable doing something that's not Naziverse related for once in their life. And I'm not saying that because I hate the Naziverse. I fucking love the Naziverse, okay? So, yeah. I don't see a golden age ever happening. Okay, so the next question, let's see. I'm gonna answer another question from my doomer friend, and that is best TV series you ever watched. That's easy. I was thinking about it for a while, and I was like, oh, TV series. I don't watch a lot of these. But then I thought about one. But when I thought about it, I just kind of I realized. Hey, negative. Okay, so the best TV series ever. Look, I know some of you are gonna hate me for this, but just hear me out. Hear me out. The best TV series that I've ever watched, The Boondocks, easily. All 3 seasons, The Boondocks. Okay, shut up. The Boondocks. Okay, you have to watch it to love it. It's art. Okay, The Boondocks. It's phenomenal. It's beyond words. You have to watch it to appreciate it, to love it. Like everything I've recommended by now, I'm a pretty biased person, but yeah, in my opinion, The Boondocks is probably the best TV show I've watched. And yeah, I know it's a cartoon. Why didn't you say The Office or Friends? I don't know. I would have to rewatch those shows to see if I love them as much as I did back then. The Boondocks, however, is something that I could come back to watching. I don't know, in a few days, and I'll still love it because it's just great. It's wonderful. It's art. Okay, it's fucking art. So, okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is another one of my Doomer friends questions. Si tú hicieras un videojuego, ¿cómo lo harías? If you made your own game, how would you develop it? Let's see. So, I would probably take the budget into consideration first, and I don't know, I would definitely prioritize gameplay, while, I don't know, maybe I would divide the team into, like, one team works on the gameplay and the one works on the graphics and whatever, and we try our best. We get ourselves a good director that can manage us properly and all that stuff, assuming that I am not the director, because as of this age, I don't think I can manage that well. But supposing we do have a really I don't know, a natural director who's good at resource management and all that stuff, I think we could crank out a game with a really decent budget if we tried hard enough. Wow, that's really delusional. But yeah, I would probably prioritize gameplay first, and then the graphics too, keeping those two in separate teams. And we would honestly, and when we were done, we would combine that effort and make a masterpiece. Bam! I did it. I solved the problems in the world. Oh yeah, but most importantly, I think the most important thing in the development cycle of a game is triggering leftist. That's the most important part. Nailed it. I'm killing these questions, man. I'm killing these questions. Let's see what else is here. Top 3 games, niggas. Just general video games. Okay, so let's see. Top 3 games. Okay. Now in top 3 games, I could talk about my favorites, because well, it's a really easy question. Okay, so we have. Oh wow, that's actually way harder to answer than I thought. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so first off, we have fuck, yeah, that's actually way harder to answer than I thought. Okay, wait, think about it hard. Okay, this is a really important question. Top 3 games. Top 3 games. Okay, so we have Kingdom Hearts 2. I love playing that one a lot. It's great. It's wonderful. I love like the grand variety of gameplay styles you can pick up in the game. It's almost insane that Kingdom Hearts 3 exists, because it's so different from Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like it's really grounded game, and it relies on how well you can use the mechanics to play your own way, and it's a really interesting spin on the genre that they've been having for a while. Like the first game, I played a little bit because my friend and more or less of a popular commentator, Despair Waffle, he brought a copy with him, and we played for a bit, trying to do the secret boss. And I noticed that Kingdom Hearts 1 is a little bit slower, and it relies on you using your dodges and magic and strategy. And while Kingdom Hearts 2 is the same, you can generally beat the game by just spamming the X button and the reaction button when the prompt comes out and all that stuff. But really, if you take the time to master the different play styles that the game has to offer, you'll see how fun the game actually is. And I think you can also tell from the creative ways I've managed to beat the organization bosses, whether it's on my streams or the videos that I uploaded on YouTube, which are only like 3 or something. Okay, so number 2, we have Devil May Cry 3. Devil May Cry is a franchise I've grown up with. I can confidently say that. My uncle introduced me to the franchise when I was like still in kindergarten. Yeah, that's right. I played M-rated games when I didn't even know what the private parts of men and women were like. So yeah, I'm a shad, man. I'm a fucking shad, 100%. Okay, but seriously though, Devil May Cry, I don't know. I fell in love with it when I started playing it. I liked how cool and snarky Dante was, and the fact that there were 3 games, that was even better. But I don't know, I'll never forget how happy I was when I found out there was the 3rd one, and that I had it, and that Dante was like this cocky dude, and then like a cocky prick, and then like he made a lot of one-liners, and like his voice actor was really cool and stuff. I think it's the same voice actor, but like in Devil May Cry 3, he just sounds so cool and stuff. And I really loved the gameplay in DMC3. I recently revisited, re- fuck, you know what? Let's just keep talking. Okay, so yeah, I recently checked it out again. I believe either this summer or last year's summer, and I did a run of it on normal. I don't know if it was normal or hard. It's probably normal or hard. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But whichever difficulty it was, whether it was normal or not, it didn't matter because at the end of the day, I know it was a pretty hard difficulty because when I fought the server's boss, I lost enough times for the you can now select easy mode prompt to appear. So yeah, and you know, replaying that game at a really challenging difficulty, it was like a really weird experience because I don't think I ever saw myself playing a Devil May Cry game on any other difficulty than easy or normal, because well, I would play DMC1 on normal and I would just get my ass decked by Phantom or the cat or whatever, and it was just a pain in the ass. But you know, but when I played through DMC3 and I took the time to try the different styles and the combos you can come up with the weapons, I enjoyed the game. I think that one of my favorite weapons by far, like most people, is Nevin. Nevin is the electric guitar that Dante gets after beating a hot vampire chick. It's a really it's a really awesome weapon to wield, and it has like really unique attacks because well, you play the guitar and like you can either like summon like bat lightning projectiles or like tornadoes around you and all that stuff, and it's just it's chaotic when you wield that weapon, and combining it with stuff like Agni and Rudra or just Reveling in general or the nunchucks. It's just, there's a lot to play with in DMC3, and you'll find that it's mostly really fun. It's a really good game, definitely. And finally we have Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 is a game that I bought last year around September. I picked it up when I just, you know, I had $20 on me and I wanted to buy something, and I was watching a couple of videos about, you know, hey, you should probably check Yakuza out. It's pretty cool. And I was like, oh look, it's Yakuza 0, so I'm gonna get it. Originally, I planned to use $40 to buy Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, but a month later, it turns out that Yakuza Kiwami was gonna be free on PSN via PS Plus. I was like, oh wow, two birds with one stone, and it was awesome. Yakuza 0 is considered by most the best in the franchise, and I can't disagree because it's a really fun game. I keep coming to it most of the time. It's been hard recently because I have to start from the beginning, but it's a really addictive game. There's a lot to do. The gameplay is fun, especially since you have two characters to play as, which are Kazuma Kiryu and Majima Goro. Each character has 4 different fighting styles to play as, giving you a total of 8 different ways to play the game, and it's including all of the weapons and weapon styles you can learn. It's a really crazy game, and it's one that I'm glad I bought because most of the time I would sit around. I tend to sit when I turn on the PlayStation. I tend to sit around bored or watching anime or I don't know, playing a little bit of a game, a little bit of fighting games, and then calling it a day. But whenever I got in Yakuza, whether it was to just run around and do some side activities or challenge Mr. Shakedown and then get like billions of yen stolen by him, only to take it back a couple of hours later after I decided that I'm tired of fucking around and that I want all my money back, or you know, whether it is to, I don't know, find more extra stuff to play with and learn the different ways you can fight with weapons. This is a game that I just love to come back to no matter what. It's really a fun game, and that's why I keep telling this pair Waffle to stop being a bitch and play it already. Oh my god. Okay, but seriously though, those are my top 3 games in general that I love a lot. Okay, so let's see what other questions do we have here. So now that we've done a couple. Okay, so okay, here's a question from Despair Waffle. Do you like old 90s movies? That's a really oh, here we go again. That's a really complicated question to answer because, well, I short answer, yes, I do. Long answer, I've I think I don't know. I can't tell you if I definitely watch old 90s movies, but I know that there has to be some that I watched that are from the 90s for sure. But most of the recent movies I watched are actually from, we're talking the 70s through 80s, like the Rocky movies, John Carpenter's The Thing, which came out around, I don't know, I believe 1982 or 1984. I forgot. It was either of those 2 years, but it was the 80s. There's also Predator, Commando, and all those movies. They came out before the 90s were even a thing, and I love those movies so much. I really do. But I think there are some that are old and that I from the 90s and that I watched them, but I just can't tell you which. So yeah, I do. I guess you could say that I do, but mostly a lot of the movies I remember that are old and a lot of old movies that I watch and I remember are actually more from the 70s and 80s. I'm a really weird person, I know that, but please don't shame me. Okay, let's see what's up next. Okay. Top 3 anime you like. Let's see. Top 3 anime I like. That's actually a tough one because I haven't really thought about it that well. So I don't know. Okay, I'll tell you top 3 anime. Let's see. God's Wonderful Blessing on This World, also known as Konosuba. It's it's a recent anime I've gotten into, but it's one that I love a lot. It's it's earned a special place in my heart despite the fact that I've only watched it once. And okay, so basically Konosuba is an isekai, but here's the twist. Of course, it has a twist. But here's the main thing about Konosuba. So Konosuba is about the story of this NEET called Sato Kazuma. One day he's out buying some weeaboo shit, then he sees some girl in danger about to get rammed over by a truck kun, and then he pushes the girl out of the way and dies. So then after he dies, he meets this goddess called Aqua, and he's like, "Hey, did I save that girl?" And Aqua's like, "No, she didn't even need to be saved in the first place. You died for nothing." See, it turns out that Kazuma, that the girl was about to be run over by a tractor, but the dude in the tractor knew that she was there and he was already stopping. So he pushed her out of the way, and then got hit by a slow tractor, and then he died, and he died from the shock. And as he died, he pissed himself, and it was it was so hilarious that the doctors couldn't even save him because because they were too busy dying of laughter because this pathetic random otaku just got killed by this because the tractor bumped into him. It's it's a really silly anime. So as you can tell, it's humorous. So the gimmick of the anime is that Sato Kazuma takes this goddess with him, Aqua, and it turns out that Aqua is actually really fucking weak and useless, and so is all of his party members. And he's actually the only competent person, but the thing is that they're all useless in their own way, so they kind of foil each other out. Their party consists of Aqua, a useless goddess. That's her old gimmick. Apparently, she also doesn't wear panties. Uh, we also have the legendary Explosion Lolly Megumin. Her gimmick is that she can use really powerful explosion magic, but she can only do it once a day. And finally, Darkness. Darkness, at first, appears to be a normal knight, an honorable lady, beautiful blonde knight, but in reality, she's a masochist, and and she takes a lot of blows from the enemies, and she acts like, and people are like, oh my god, what an honorable knight, she's defending us to the last post, but she's actually just getting off of the fact that she's getting hit and pummeled and all that stuff. It's really weird. It's like describing to you, it sounds like a really weird anime, but that's because it kind of is. So next up we have oh, sorry. I'm joking. Okay, so next up, after Konosuba, we have let's see, thinking about it. I actually thought about one earlier, but I forgot. Okay, so there was Konosuba. There was also another anime. This one also that I want to mention. Okay, so let's talk about that one instead. Uh, you might not know this one. It's called Durarara. Ra. Ra 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 ra. Okay, so Durarara, or well, it's actually Durarara. Durarara is a really interesting anime. It follows the story of a character called Mikado Ryogamine as he moves into Ikebukuro, Japan, to see his friend Maso Mikira, since they haven't seen each other in ages. The purpose of this anime is that Mikado Ryugamine moves into this town, which is more or less like, I don't know, a New York kind of place where the city never sleeps and everyone knows each other. Well, okay, yeah, the city never really sleeps, but I think one of the strongest points in the anime is that it has a lot of characters, and each character is really strong. And by strong, I mean like they're all really organic, and they'll have interesting lives and motives of why they live in the town or why they do what they do. And you see a lot of perspectives, like we have people from the mafia, or the yakuza, and then we got gangs and internet boards doing the right thing and all that stuff. It's a really unique anime. Unfortunately, it suffers from the fact that it's a slice of life, and well, it's not entirely a slice of life because it has supernatural elements, but I don't know, a lot of people consider it to be really boring, but honestly, I've watched it like 3 times and I love it so much. I don't really regret checking this anime out. And finally, let's see. There was one that's really special to my heart, but I can't seem to remember right now, so that means it's actually not that special. No, but seriously though, I was actually thinking about it really earlier today. Damn it, now I forgot it. Now I forgot it. You know what? I'm just gonna shoot forward and. Oh, okay. I know now. Look. This one's just great. It's art. Okay. Hunter x Hunter 2011 is a great anime. It's one of the best shonens you'll ever watch or read or whatever. It's great. Okay. It has one of the best power systems in all of shonen. It has plenty and plenty of characters, and the writing in it is great, and some of the greatest arcs in anime history. I feel like if you utter the words Chimera Ant to anyone, they'll tell you Midwim is the strongest character in all of fiction. Okay, but seriously though, Hunter x Hunter, I've only seen it 2 times. Like, I don't know, about 2 years ago and recently when I rewatched it. But I don't really rewatch it a lot because I just love this one. It's magic. I don't want the magic of it to die for me because this is a great anime. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. I'm honestly glad that I decided to, like, I don't know, stick around and watch more of it, and I didn't decide, oh, this is just another shonen and whatever, so I'm gonna stop watching it here after the first episode. Like, I'm glad that I decided to continue on watching because as I kept watching, I fell more in love with the anime, and I felt more captivated by all the different characters and all the different perspectives and all that stuff. It's a really great and wonderful anime that I'm sure everyone's gonna like. So yeah, that's it for top 3 anime. So what's next? Okay, so next up we have let's see, no, let's see what we have here. Okay, so from the Sparrow Waffle we have, what's your favorite fighting game? Oh, that's an easy one. My favorite fighting game is Melty Blood. Melty Blood Actress Again Current Code. Now, it's technically a close one between Melty Blood and the JoJo fighting game, but I love Melty Blood way, way, way more than I think you should be allowed to. For starters, if you might not know, I deeply, deeply I have a deep love for the Naziverse, also known as the Fate Stay Night franchise and whatever, you know, FGO and all that stuff. I love all of that, okay? I love that franchise. But one of the things I love a lot is Melty Blood. I mean, Melty Blood and Tsukihime, the visual novel it originates from. Tsukihime is the predecessor of Fate Stay Night. It came before that. It was Type Moon's first visual novel. It was Kinoko Nasu's magnum opus. Well, actually, no. Kinoko Nasu's magnum opus is Kara no Kyokai. Okay, but seriously though. It was Kinoko Nasu's magnum opus. It got Type Moon on the market, on the radar. You know, when people saw when people heard the name Type Moon, they were like, "Oh my God, Kinoko Nasu, Tsukihime! Oh shit, this man! You do not fuck with this man." Okay, but seriously though, I'm gonna get a, if you don't mind, a bit of water before I continue talking. Okay, we're ready. Okay, Melty Blood. There are a lot of reasons why I love this fighting game. For starters, it has a pretty large cast of characters, and it's a, not only is it a large cast of characters, but it's a large cast of characters threefold, because each character has three different fighting styles that they can do. And these fighting styles, they actually dramatically change the gameplay and the special moves you can perform. It's great. It's a great thing. Okay. It's introduced, and another factor is that the gameplay, to me, it's so addictive. Look, I could dead ass get up off of this sofa, and you just walk up to the computer right there, turn it on, and start playing Melty Blood right now, and I won't stop until an hour passes by, or until I decide that I want to live stream with Nikachu. Which, I'm sorry, Nikachu, it's not gonna happen today. I don't know, unless I get to, I don't know, like, if I don't know, if I'm done and I'm still awake, then I don't know, we can stream something. Okay, but seriously though, so Melty Blood kind of holds a special place in my heart too. It's one of my favorite fighting games. And to be honest, the one thing I want to do the most is sit down with somebody, I don't know, a friend or somebody, teach them how to play this game, and fucking play this game with someone for like hours on end. Which I did actually, I did make that a reality, because Nigga plays Melty Blood with me almost all the time when we stream the game. That's every Saturday, by the way. We are on Saturday now, but whatever. Okay, so okay, it's honestly a great game. I love the cast of characters. They're all unique, and they have like their little personality quirks, and they're all likable in their own way. Even some of the antagonists, who in the visual novel are just really like vicious and just pure evil for the sake of being evil guys. Melty Blood more or less improves on their personalities and adds more to them and makes them quirky in their own ways. It introduced me to one of my favorite Nazaverse characters of all time, that being Michael Roa Valdem Jong. He's the antagonist of Tsukihime, and in Melty Blood he's a top tier character because he is the only character who universally has who's let me gather my thoughts. Is this dude going at 50 on a fucking... This is a neighborhood. Why the hell is he going 60 miles or something? Okay, whatever. Okay. Michael Roa is is great, and for plenty of reasons. But one of the main ones is that all three of his fighting styles are top tier. You could pick up this character at any fighting style, and if you dedicate a lot of time to learning him, you'll become good at him. It doesn't matter which fighting style you pick up; they're all good. He's also one of the top tier characters in the Crescent Moon style, the first one, because he's a zoner, and his zoning is intense. Let me tell you, he has far reach with his zoning. It's just full screen projectiles. He's got you there. Once he gets you, you're stunned with lightning, and then he can combo you in midair, and then he can grab you down and shoot you down and whatever. It's a really addictive game that I love a lot. I am just thank God that I decided to play this game one day, because I also don't regret playing this game at all. It's definitely one of my favorite games to play of all time. It's just that great for me. It's wonderful. So let's see what else do we have here. Okay, so alright, from Nigachu we have, what anime are you watching currently? Currently, I am watching a series of movies called Kara no Kyokai. Kara no Kyokai is part of the Naziverse, and it follows the story of Ryo Ishiki. She's my main in Melty Blood. You know, the one I use against you when we're playing, when we're doing our CL fights and stuff. Yeah, the girl with the knife, that one. Ryo Ishiki is basically how do I explain this without making it too complicated? Ryo Ishiki is a murderer. That's basically it. And she does like odd jobs with this character called Toko Aosaki. They're like, I don't know, they're like spirit detectives or something. And they solve like cases involving the supernatural and all that stuff. And it's great. It's a really good entry point for the Naziverse. If you want to get into the Naziverse, and you don't want to start with Fate Stay Night, then just start with Kara no Kyokai, because you don't need to know you don't need to know jack shit about Fate to get into Kara no Kyokai. It's just 8 movies, 8 wonderful anime movies animated by the one, the only Ufotable. I think these movies were released in 2007 to 2008, and yet their animation looks so much like Fate Zero's. It's insane. Their quality was already good before the 2010s, and that says a lot about them. Each movie, the movies are not in chronological order, by the way, but you are to watch them in release date order, which is basically how it goes. The first movie, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth. You're supposed to watch them in that order. But yes, there is a chronological order, because technically the second movie is the first one. Yeah, it's one of those movies. It's one of those. But if you don't want to get confused, basically one movie will tackle what Shiki is currently doing, and another one will tackle Shiki's past and how she got to the point where she's currently right now in the movie. In the movie, you may be watching it takes place in present time. It's a great movie franchise. Check it out. It's beautiful animation, beautiful stuff. Kara no Kyokai. KARANOKYOUKAI. Or you can also just look up the Garden of Sinners, and you'll find it too. Okay, so what else do we have? We are starting to, I think we're almost done with the questions and stuff. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? I guess we only have 2 more questions. It's 2 more questions? Yep. It's 2 more questions. 2 more, because there's actually 3 more, but those 2 are the same question, so 2 more questions. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite manga, because that is the question from from Despair Waffle and my Doomer friend. They both ask my about my favorite manga. My Doomer friend asks ¿Qué manga has leído que te ha gustado más y por qué? And Despair Waffle just asks fave manga. That manga, it's a no-brainer for me. I've read plenty that I love, but let me tell you about a piece of art. Let me tell you about a work of art called Medaka Box. I got introduced to Medaka Box in 2015. I saw a GIF of Medaka absolutely destroying a black dude in in the anime, and I was like, what the fuck? I do not want to know what that's about. A year later, I discovered that Medaka Box is, without a doubt, Shonen Jump's most powerful universe. Like the Medaka Box in universe, the power scaling is, it's off the fucking charts. Like, I feel like literally any character, like, to put it this way, there are some characters in Medaka Box that could take out Ultimate Cars and Medwin. That's the level we're talking. But basically, Medaka Box is about a Mary Sue-ish like character called Medaka Kurokami. Although the protagonist in a sort of way, and our POV character is called Senkichi Hitoyoshi. He is Medaka's childhood friend or best friend or whatever. And one day Medaka in high school becomes the student council president because she's more or less, because, well, she's basically a Mary Sue, but she's a well-written one, and the story doesn't really revolve around her. It's more or less of how it falls more about how she draws in others and improves their lives or whatever, and how, okay, it's more or less about how her actions influences those around her, for better or for worse. Now, there are some really interesting and fun characters to come out of that manga. And basically, Medaka ends up recruiting Senkichi Hitoyoshi into her student council as her secretary. Or, yeah, I think he was the secretary. And basically, the box in Medaka Box is refers to a more or less a system that she puts in place called the suggestion box, where anyone could make a request and she will go out of her way to make sure that this request is fulfilled. Yes, if you put in the box that you wanted Medaka to give you a blowjob, she would most likely 100% do it because she is that kind of person. Okay, so one of the things I love a lot about Medaka Box, the characters, obviously, there are fucking large ass cast of characters that are really unique. A really large and unique cast of characters, and not only that, but the designs are also pretty interesting for each character. Each character also has like really interesting backstories and abilities and all that stuff. So yeah, the power system in place, which is abnormalities and minus powers, these two kinds of powers are also really interesting and fun. They're all pretty gimmicky and they're really fun and overpowered. It's crazy. But I think its strongest point, it's definitely just the large variety of characters, especially those that Medaka affects around her. Most prominently, Medaka Box introduced me to one of my favorite characters, without a doubt, in all of fiction. And that, my friends, is Kumagawa Misogi. Misogi Kumagawa, for the most part, as I was saying, Misogi Kumagawa, for the most part, is more or less of a central antagonist. He's introduced in the earlier chapters as more or less of a figure who has more or less. Okay, so Kumagawa is more or less introduced as this sort of central antagonist and figure who has affected Medaka's life in a terrible way. For one, when Kumagawa, at the time, had recruited one of the side characters who had yet to become one of Medaka's members of the student council. He had that character bully Medaka and just beat the living shit out of her for just for the kicks of it. And Kumagawa, for the most part, would just badly influence most characters in that way. if you met Kumagawa, it usually meant that your life was about to go to hell, because that's what Kumagawa did the most. Kumagawa is also the source of most of Medaka's conflicts earlier, like for the most part in the manga. Because, well, the thing about him is that he is by far one of the first character to ever have Medaka basically just completely annihilates another human being. Like, Kumagawa had tormented Medaka for so long, and the things he had done, that when he took it far, Medaka made sure to beat the ever living shit out of him and make sure that he never tried to do that shit. But that didn't work because Kumagawa is a fucking Shav, okay? He is a man among men. He's on another level, okay? Kumagawa's gimmick is that he is a loser. And I do mean it literally. Every fight he's involved in, he loses it. But here's the thing about Kumagawa. Kumagawa is a character who loses the fight, but wins the war. All of the time. Consistently. Kumagawa always goes, wow, I lost a battle, I lost again, and what stuff. But he tends to mess with people in such a way that at the end, even if that person won against Kumagawa, what Kumagawa did to them impacts is way more hard-hitting than them beating literally a guy who prides himself in being the biggest loser of all time. Another thing that Kumagawa has is that he is a very perverted character and a fourth wall breaker. Perverted in a sense that to more or less to set stakes in one of the arcs I'm currently reading, he declares that if he wins, he will make all of the girls in the school wear nothing but an apron. That's right. His dream is to make high school girls, or his dream is to make his fellow female classmates, to serve him wearing nothing but an apron. Just the apron. No underwear, nothing, just the apron. That's what he wants. It's a really respectable dream for a man who likes to ruin people's lives. Another strong point of Kumagawa is his moveset. It mostly revolves around his ability to easily torment his opponent. Throughout when he's introducing the manga for the first time to us, the reader, Kumagawa is introduced with the ability All Fiction. All Fiction, to put it simply, is omni-negation. Omni-negation is the ability to erase anything from existence by just willing it to happen. That's omni-negation, essentially. And Kumagawa has this ability, and he uses this ability to not only keep himself from dying, but to mess with people. For example, when he's introduced and he meets up with all the main cast, he walks up to Medaka's brother, and he had like these scars on his chest. And to him, he was proud of having these scars because they meant that he suffered and that he overcame that suffering, and those scars were proof of, of his development. Kumagawa said fuck that and just healed his wounds. Why? Because he fucking felt like it. Because he just felt like having fun and tormenting people. When he's introduced and the characters leave the elevator for the first time, they see a bunch of students pinned against the wall with screws. And at the end is Kumagawa taunting the main characters, going, "Oh, I'm not sorry. It was like it was already like this when I got here," when he clearly was the one who did all of this. When the characters regain the consciousness, they state that no matter what they did to Kumagawa would always get back up. And that's also one of his unique things as well. He has this sort of like shonen protagonist Senkai boost thing, where he'll get up no matter how badly you beat the fuck out of him. He just gets up back at it again and gets himself beaten up even more, just to torment you even more, because that's what he loves to do. Such is the extent that in one of his fights, which isn't even a fight, it's more like a card game, with stakes being that he has a deadly disease, when the opponent begins to yield, Kumagawa insists on continuing the game and putting his life even more on risk. And why does he do this? Why? He's the one that's gonna die. Why is the other character regretting these actions? Well, that's because this character who can give other people diseases and then cure those diseases, this character has one mission, and it's to not let any student die. So when Kumagawa just decides, fuck you, I don't want your cure, I am going to kill myself right now from this disease, your pride is on the fucking line as a doctor, and he is going to make sure that he makes you thoroughly suffer for messing with him. And then he's gonna lose the fight. Because I think that's what makes Kumagawa a really horrifying character. It's the fact that he is so powerful, yet he chooses to just torment people and then give up and just admit defeat. He's a really weird character, but because he's weird, that also makes him really like makes him a really appealing character, especially when the fact is that when Kumagawa is on screen or on the panel, the spotlight is on him, and like every character who is praised with the phrase of when this character is on, the spotlight is on him, Kumagawa never fails to deliver and keep the reader on toes. And that's one of the reasons I love Medaka Box overall. Aside from the power scaling, the great characters, the story, and a lot of the fights, Kumagawa is definitely something that gets me back into reading this manga, because I'm always excited to see not only the absurd shit that this manga can pull out, but just what will Kumagawa do next to mess with the other characters. Alright, so we're done with that question now. Okay, so now we're in the final question. That's actually kind of sad. This question is asked by a very special person, to be honest. They're a really good friend, a close friend of mine. So I want to make sure that they're watching the stream before I get on with it. Anyways, guys, I think we'll take a small break before the last question, because I really want to make sure that this person is watching the stream right fucking now, or I will not do the stream for the life of me. So we will be right back after these short commercials. By short commercials, I mean nothing at fucking all.